Hey there! My name is Kyle and I'm with Serendipity, and today I'm going to show you how to use Terminal, Visual Studio Code, and Pong with Pygame. So, let's get started. Great, so the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and open Visual Studio Code. And where we're going to go, once it loads up, is click File, New File. So now that our new file is created, we're going to save it. So we're going to go to click File, Save, and it's going to ask us to rename. So how we're going to do that is we're going to call this one Hello World, and that's just the first name that you put for any coding that you do in the beginning. Hello World, and we're going to call it .py. And .py or .py just means that it's going to be a Python file. The next thing we're going to do is under the Where section, you're going to click Desktop, and you'll see that it'll pop up somewhere over here. Now, if you're on a Windows computer, you will also be prompted to save it in a specific place. You'll have Documents, Downloads, or Desktop. For this example, we're going to do Desktop as well. So now we're going to save, and you can see that helloworld.py is there. So now what we're going to do is it's going to ask the Python extension is required for this file type. What we're going to do is we are going to click Install. Go ahead and click Install. One more thing that's going to pop up is you're going to see Install right over here, and so you'll need to click Install to make sure that you will get error messages if you need them in the future. Now, if you've already done this before, you won't be prompted to install because it'll already install for you, so not to worry about that. If this is your first time, you will need to install it. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to do our basic statement of print, and then I'm going to open our parentheses, and you can see that the parentheses autofilled, which means it is indeed a Python file, double quotation marks, and I'm going to say hello world, exclamation point. You can see that there is a little dot right there, and that means that it's not saved yet. So I'm going to go ahead and click File, and save. So now what we're going to do is we need to find a way to run the code. So what you're going to do now is on your computer, if you're a Mac, you're going to find the Terminal application. If you're on Windows, you're going to find CommandPrompt. So I am going to find Terminal right over here. Again, if you're on Windows, you're going to choose CommandPrompt, and I'm going to open it. And you can see that I already have mine open. So what is the command prompt? Well, what we're doing today is we're going to do something called command line coding. The thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out what is in this folder. So each account, you can think of it as a folder. And inside this folder, we'd like to see what's in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to type ls if you're on a Mac. If you are on a Windows, you're going to type dir and then hit enter. Obviously, I'm on a Mac, so dir is not going to work. I'm going to click ls. And you can see that inside my Robotics Outreach account folder, there's a bunch of other folders, subfolders, you could say. And I see that one of them is called Desktop. Over here, you can see my complete desktop. So what I'm going to show you now is that we can go into the desktop. So we're going to write cd. And inside, we're going to type desktop. So now you can see that it turned into Kyle's MacBook Air on the desktop folder of my account Robotics Outreach. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to need to run our code. So, how are we going to do this? For example, if you ever wanted to run a car, start a car, first, you need someone to drive the car, and second, you need to know which car you're driving. Perhaps you have a Toyota, a Honda, and an Acura at your house, and you have mom and dad. So if you want to go somewhere, you first have to say, get the driver, mom or dad, and then find the car that you want, or the Acura, Toyota, or Honda. Same thing when we code and we want to run the code or run our car. What we're going to do first is we're going to find out what we want to run our code. There's many languages, such as Java, C, but instead today what we're using Python. So first thing we write is Python, add a space, and we're saying Python. We want Python to run our code. Now, remember how we have to specify which car? We have to specify which file we want. And our file, as you can see over here, is called hello world.py. It's really important to add .py at the end because that's the file name. Now, when I click enter, you'll see that it indeed does say hello world. Now let's see if I add a second line saying print serendipity is awesome. And serendipity is our group save, for example here. You see that I need to save first, so file, because it has that little dot right over here. File, save. And only when I save, you can see that when I type Python, remember I need to find out who it is, Python, hello world.py, the file that I want to run, then it gives me my new updated part. And you can see here that if I added something else, hi there, if I don't actually write my save as over here, it won't actually pop up. So you have to very closely make sure that you always save your file first, and then it will work. Last thing, what happens if we want to... Okay, sorry, cut over there.